yesterday, the majority chief whip, MP for Nsawam Adruadjuri, Mr. Arnold Domprey, he had cause to complain about how the minority were not showing up in Parliament. And he's not the first to have complained. There have been many others who have complained about the minority not showing up in Parliament and rather deciding to be in court to support their colleague Jachi Kwetsin, because the minority is asking for a nollie prosecutor to be filed. They are not alone. They are with the likes of the Venerable Aikwe to Marietta Brewer-Piopon, who have also served as former Attorney General. That matter has come up. Attorney General says, let's be cautious about it. But people say, look, you, Attorney General, started even commenting about these matters a long time ago. I don't want to get into the merits of it because it's before a competent court, a court of competent jurisdiction. But yesterday, he had cause to complain in Parliament. And he said that the attitude of the minority was childish, and that they were calculating the number of days that they would spend because they actually participate in sittings of committees and not at the plenary. He may have a point, but I would rather that when both the majority and the minority speak, the NDC and the MPP speak, they credit us, the people of Ghana, with some level of intelligence because, number one, we are their employers. They come to us every 4 years to renew their mandates and their contracts. That's the first one. Number two, they are not in Parliament on their own volition. They are in Parliament for us, to serve us. Number three, they are in Parliament to make sure that the things that have to be done on our behalf have to be done. So we are complaining about the minority not turning up in Parliament and being in the courts to support their colleague. I don't know if they have the full approval of their constituents to do that. But if they don't have, maybe their constituent needs to start calling them and telling them, boss, madam, this is not why we sent you to Parliament. And then they also need to focus on the majority. Many of who are following Dr. Bawumia, because they are even ministers of state. There are ministers of state who are following Dr. Bawumia around. There are government appointees, presidential staffers who are following Dr. Bawumia around. There are other CEOs and the rest who are following Dr. Bawumia around. There are some MPs who are following, on the side of the majority, who are following Alan Tremantin around. And there are many others who they support. Kennedy Japan, all of them. So the question we must ask is, while they are away doing campaign, while they are away following their favorites, while they are away using our time to campaign, are they going to take salaries for the French leave that they have taken without our permission? Because we are the employers. It's a question that we must ask, no? Because these gentlemen and these ladies work for us. So are they going to actually pay us, compensate us for taking our salaries? Because July is about to end. They will take their salaries for July. But for all the days that they are out there doing what they call a probo and campaign and going around and say they are sharing the message, a message of change, hope, blah, 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 blah. Will they pay us? Has the vice president himself shown leadership and taking his leave? The MPs, have they also taken their leave? It's a question that must be asked. Because if you are a government worker, you are a CEO. If I decide to absent myself, I'll be dealt with. If a worker at the ministries decides to absent themselves 2 weeks on ceremony, they say, oh, my uncle had a campaign to be assemblyman, so I went to support my uncle. Would that be accepted? But these same people who lead us, who are now drawing our attention to the fact that some people are not appearing in Parliament, are not able to call their colleagues out. So I'll encourage my good friend Arnold Domprey to also call the majority out. Because at the last check, there were only 15 people on the side of the majority, 15 or so, in Parliament, when the minority had walked out. 15. So where were the rest? Because they hadn't declared that they were going to walk out. They had not said that. So where were they? And are they using our money? Are they using our time? While they are away, who is doing their work? And while we don't know who is doing their work, will we pay them at the end of the month? And is that value for money? Is that how to protect the public purse? Is that accountability? Who is supervising them? Sayo, Nupabeje, and Lo. I know that ministers are supervised by the chief of staff. I know that there are very different layers of supervision. Who is supervising what? They are members of parliament. We've seen them on tape. They themselves will leave and go and do their own campaigns later. But now they are doing follow back for people. And are they doing it on our money and our time? Because we have time to go and campaign, but we don't have time to appear in parliament. So when we talk about right, we talk about left too.